How to Make an Awful Conlang, Episode 2. First things first, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the first one, and hopefully I have fixed my audio. Second, now I have a tie and a shirt and pants. And thirdly, I'm going to be making a more regular uploading schedule, so hopefully next time we don't have to wait 4 weeks for the next one. And now for the second episode, Picking Sounds. The things we need are an IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet, not Indian Pale Ale, and we will also need our brain. You can find the IPA on the internet, easily accessible and free. Whoa, no, get one with decent resolution, please. Our first step is to get rid of all the really common sounds. This will be stuff that's in many languages worldwide, so we can easily get rid of them to make our conlang worse. We're not going to want to use any of the more common plosives, being pa, ba, ta, da, ka, and ga, because they are, as I said, very common and we want to make our language awful. On the nasal side of things, we're not going to want to use ma, na, or nga, because they are also very common. I actually read somewhere, not knowing if this is true, that ma was the most common sound in the world. That means we're definitely not going to want to use it. Don't include any of the fricatives that you can pronounce, because that means they are more common, and we want less people to be able to pronounce this language. The other common consonants that we're not going to want to include are the English R, the rolled R, la, and ya. Let's zoom in on the consonant table and take a look at the sounds that I would not be using in my awful conlang. Going across the plosives, I'm allowed to use the retroflex, the palatal, the uvular, and the glottal plosives. In the nasals, I'm allowed to use the labiodental, retroflex, palatal, uvular, and that's all. I'm also not allowed to use the rolled R. In the fricatives, the only sounds that I cannot pronounce are the palatal and the pharyngeal fricatives, which means they are the only ones I will be allowed to use. Now, I can pronounce the lateral fricatives, but I'm going to keep them in because they're really not that common and I like the sound of them. This leaves me with the labiodental approximant, the retroflex approximant, the velar approximant, and all the lateral approximants except for the alveolar one are everyday L. Those are all the pulmonic consonants I'm going to use for this project. Little spoiler though, I'm not actually making this. If you guys want to make a really bad conlang, go ahead. There are also a lot of non-pulmonic consonants and diacritics we can use. Those are down lower at the table, and I would highly recommend you use all of them because they're kind of weird and kind of hard to use a lot of the times because often they're just from small little languages. Now for the vowels. We're going to want to be like Danish because they have an insane amount of vowels. Here's the vowel section of the IPA chart for easier use. Whoa, that's a lot of vowels. Danish, wow, I commend you. However, we don't want to make this too easy to learn because there will still be sounds that are familiar to native speakers of many languages. So let's get rid of some of the more common vowel sounds. Get rid of E, U, the schwa, O, and A because they are common. So you have a large inventory of weird consonants and more obscure vowels to work with. Now, you do have a lot, but you gotta use them wisely. Use some of them way more frequently than others and throw other ones in randomly when they really make no sense. Don't set any rules for consonant clustering because why would you? We want this to be as confusing and random as possible, so having really long consonant clusters and then really long vowel clusters and then sometimes perfect 1-to-1 ratios is going to go great to destroy your conlang. My last tip is to use some sounds only at the beginning when you're starting to make your conlang, because then they'll be stuck, embedded in the, sort of grammatical features, the base words, basic phrases and stuff like that, but once you actually get deeper into the language, they'll just be gone. It brings a sense of discontinuity to your conlang, which is exactly what we want. Well, that's all for this episode of How to Make an Awful Conlang. I hope you guys enjoyed this one more than the last one, due to the audio. And if you do enjoy it, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, anything like that. It really does help. I didn't expect such a good reaction on the last video, because I wasn't expecting it to actually, get out there. But hopefully Now I can build off of that and continue making these and continue entertaining you guys. Thank you.